that is the all in all, because it's you. So that's that part. Now I want to talk a little bit about what's happening cosmically here. No, can't do that yet. I do have to remind all the people in this area, please, this Friday, November 4th, 6:30 to 8 p.m., I will be speaking on, well, they've named the topic mindfulness at the Evans Library at Florida Institute of Technology. This is sponsored by the New York Times. And so it's in their library. That's Evans Library. If you need more information, contact the library at 321-674-8086. Once again, it's 321-674-8086. I can share with you it is a free lecture, although my take on mindfulness is going to be mindlessness. Stay out of your mind. Focus what you have to, and then let's use this mind in a slightly different way to actually remember the essence of you. So that's that piece coming up. And then what's happening? So here we have stepped into energetically the month of November, November 1st. But on Saturday, we actually step into the real shift of the month according to Mother Nature. And then it shifts into what is termed the month of the pig. That's the P-I-G, pig. And it is the month that starts the winter cycle. The winter cycle is 3 months. So we're stepping right into the pig. Now, what the translation for that to you is, we have a few more days. We've got just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to finish out the transition cycle of the autumn or metal cycle. That means anything that you've been worried about or have anxiety about, or stomach issues, spleen issues, actually they're going to start coming to a close. So put your worries down and get ready for this, what is called the water cycle. And the water cycle, very powerful. Every cycle brings its own sense of aliveness and information for you. So it's interesting when a whole new trinity begins. So in this water cycle, you're going to be looking at things like your kidneys and bladder. Those are the organs. Just as the stomach and spleen were the organs connected with this dog month, well, so was anything having to do with transition. So hopefully some of you are now more alert and alive to any transitions that you could be making. And under this water energy, here's what becomes available to take a look at. It's called fears, all of your fears. And the mechanism for fear, F-E-A-R, is false evidence appearing real. So you want to be very protective of your kidney chi at this time. Here's some ideas of where you could slip and slide with fear. The holidays are coming. You fear where you're going to spend them. You fear where you're not going to spend them. You fear how you're going to pay for them. A lot of Americans would have had more money to pay for holidays if they had not just invested $6 billion in Halloween stuff. So fears are coming up. Fears where you're fearful of, is this person going to ask me out? Am I going to be invited here? Are my children going to go home? Will my children speak to me? Will I speak to my children? So lots of fears. And with water comes the sense of blue. Waters are blue, the deep blue sea. But so does come the sense of I feel blue. Now, here's the challenging part. Not only, to me, Halloween is like the starting gun of really crummy eating for the next 3 months. And the more you indulge in all of the sugars and the starches, you will feel blue. And now the energy that was harming your stomach chi will now play havoc with your kidneys. And so, a lot of Americans use the expression almost with as a badge of honor, that pissed me off. Well, you want to be careful of that, because you're telling your bladder that you're unhappy, and you will have bladder trouble. I mean, it sounds insane that it could be that simple, but it is. And the kidneys, they're your point of purification. So with all this junk that we're now starting to ingest, it can't keep up. And when it can't keep up, everything becomes broken down. And unfortunately, everything in your life gets broken down, but the blood and all of what the nutritional components for the body, they're not broken down properly. So then the tendency is you feel cranky, you feel bloated, your behavior is you can't make a decision, your perception is off. And what happens in this case is the whole vital essence of you is out of whack, because the kidney chi is your vital essence. It's the pure primal life energy. So we get pumped up, and then you go to the gathering and you then get pumped up. You may have had a donut for breakfast, slice of pizza for lunch, and then you go to the party, and now you're going to have, some alcohol. It's impossible for the kidney to keep up with this. It really, really is. So then the lethargy strikes, but then to get over the lethargy, give me another drink, give me another candy bar, and it becomes a very dangerous catch-22. The kidneys actually regulate the amount of water in your body. So you may want to have a lot of water on hand. It would be your saving grace for the next 3 months. The other thing that would be extremely helpful would be soup. All of my Chinese masters, when I was studying feng shui, when they would get to the part that involved body feng shui, the mantra was eat soup, eat soup, eat soup. Miso soup, any of the legumes, you know what to do. You don't need cream of everything at the holiday time, but just those pure liquids, really good for you. Chicken broth, it's what the Jewish mothers have healed their kids with for eons. Have become a little Jewish mother or father and have a lot of chicken soup. Interesting, the other day I was speaking of chickens, I was in buying a little dinner for my family was coming on Sunday for dinner, and I was mulling over the chickens, deciding what should I get. And I'm thinking, you're reading the labels now like a hound, okay? And this label is saying, okay, free range and all these labels. And I'm trying to stay very steady and thinking, okay, this looks pretty pure. And a gal comes next to me, and another woman joined her, and they start chatting, one saying to the other, oh, how long have you worked in this store, in this grocery store? And the woman goes, oh, now I think it's like almost 18 or 20 years. And the woman who asked said, wow, you must know meats inside and out and backward. I sure do. And with that, she's picking up the very chicken kind of thing that I'm looking at and says, oh, yeah, and this is what I give to my dog. I'm like, oh, boy. Ay. And it was that particular chicken seemed to be pretty pure. But no, I went over back to where it's completely organic, completely lovingly sung to before before they're killed, every happy good thing you could imagine about a poor chicken. And of course, you pay twice as much. But I'm thinking, man, this gal who's really into it, works here, knows better, she's only going to give it to the dog? Think about what you're eating. Read the labels. Okay, so with this energy of the pig coming in, and incidentally, those of you who are born under the sign of the pig, in Chinese, it's their very favorite sign. It's considered the luckiest of the Chinese zodiac. And usually when people find out they're the pig, they kind of shy away thinking, no, I don't want to be that. But it's not like the American pig that's led to slaughter. No, this is the happy animal that is industrious and loving and generous. So it's a very good sign. All right, so that's kind of where I want to take you with, you have to be careful that ladder this cycle. I'm telling you, I can feel in my bones that because of all of the changes that are about to happen in our country next week, I think people are going to be eating very carelessly. So let's take a look at next week, shall we? So I know many of you have voted, some of you have not voted, and interestingly, this is happening all under the sign of Scorpio. The planetary ruler is Pluto. This is all about what we call eighth house. So that's the number 8. It's the eighth house energy. And it's all about death, rebirth, transformation, and regeneration. So whatever is about to befall the American public, this one is big. This one comes at a time when all of the heavens have risen up to participate in this particular change. Half of the tribe is going to feel like they've received a death sentence, and the other half of the tribe is going to feel regenerated and rejuvenated. So whichever half of the tribe you fall in, neither one is correct. The only correct thing is pure essence. And neither one of those are neither one of the choices are correct. And I'd say that about any choices because they're transitory and changeable. And anything that is changeable is not of high truth. Now, the essence of each of these people, if they could allow it to shine, is pure presence. It would have to be. It has to be pure presence because there is only one. There is only one infinite presence, and it is everywhere. So all of you who have been so filled with your hate tantrums, or the other extreme, the puffed out, it's my candidate, drop it. It's a veil you're wearing. It's a cloak you're wearing. But I must tell you, if you could see with the third eye, you'd look in the mirror and you'd feel sick to your stomach. It's very sick. It's sickening to watch because it's unpleasant. And it's not truthful. Forget unpleasant. That's like a human word. It's simply not truthful. So both candidates have a soul mission to bring things up close and personal to you, to remember what you're about. And it's interesting, in this past week, there's been a lot of flurry. I mean, you'd almost have to be under, I do think I live under a stone, but I still do hear wisps of information. And what's very striking to me is that our whole Department of Justice has perhaps not been particularly just. And I don't mean just this year. I mean perhaps for a long, long time. Which, of course, whether you like it or not, it's a reflection of your ability to live justly and truthfully.